Before we begin, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for being part of the story. It happened quite a while ago, right after high school. A bunch of my close classmates and I wanted to celebrate our upcoming graduation. After some discussion, what we really wanted was to go somewhere out of town. Eventually, we decided to take a trip to a mountain not far from our town as our destination. The plan was that on the last day of senior year, everyone would finish their personal errands first, and then we'd meet up in front of the school and start our journey to the mountain together. The day of the trip finally came. After I got home, changed clothes, and got ready, I set off to the front of the school to meet them around 6 p.m. There were 6 of us in total, ready to celebrate and have fun up in the mountains. We had 2 vehicles, a pickup truck and a motorcycle. The motorcycle didn't have a designated driver. We took turns so that anyone who got tired could rest while someone else took over the handle. The trip went smoothly. By the time we reached the base of the mountain, it was around 7 p.m. Before heading up, we noticed there were many grocery stores and food stalls at the foot of the mountain, but nobody thought much of it. Everyone was too eager to get to the top, so we pressed on, something we'd regret later. After a short while, we reached the parking area. You couldn't drive all the way to the top. The road was too steep and narrow, so we parked the vehicles in the designated area, and from there, we had to continue on foot. The parking area offered a beautiful scenic view. We were only halfway up the mountain, but the view was breathtaking, with shimmering lights from the town below. Before we started climbing, everyone sat down to rest and enjoy the view. Fresh out of school, we chatted and laughed. One of us said he'd become an entrepreneur, like a famous rich man. Another joked,
"With grades like yours, you're lucky you didn't get held back."
Everyone started chuckling. Then one of the friends suggested,
"Hey, we're done with high school now. We're officially adults. Why don't we buy some alcohol to celebrate?"
Everyone agreed instantly. But then came the realization. No one had stopped at the stores earlier. We all blamed each other for not thinking of it sooner, but it was pointless now. Someone had to go back down to buy some. After a bit of discussion, it was decided that I would go with another friend on the motorcycle to buy drinks and snacks. I would take the handle, and my friend would ride on the back. So we headed down toward the grocery stores at the foot of the mountain. At the store, we bought quite a lot. Drinks, snacks, everything we thought we'd need. Only afterward did we realize we'd have to carry it all back on a single motorcycle. We tried stuffing everything wherever we could, bags hanging from the handles under the seat, but one bag was still left. My friend decided to hold that last bag in his right hand while keeping his left hand on my shoulder to balance himself. We began the ride back up the mountain. The air grew cooler, the wind thinner. The trip wasn't too bad, though my friend had to switch hands now and then because the bag was heavy and made his arm tired. Everything was fine until we reached the first curve. It was a long, winding road, zigzagging up the slope. My headlights cut through the mist, bouncing off the wet leaves and rocks. That's when I saw her. There, in the distance, stood a woman dressed in white. Even from far away, I could tell she was very beautiful. She was waving toward the road we were on. I looked around. There were no other vehicles except us. I was sure she was waving at us. Being a young man, naturally, I felt curious, maybe even a bit eager to talk to her. So I slowed down and headed in her direction. But as I got closer, I noticed something strange. The white dress she was wearing wasn't just any dress. It was a maternity gown, the kind pregnant women wear. All my initial excitement and curiosity vanished instantly. Still, ignoring her completely and just riding off felt too rude, so I decided to slow down and pull over. As I stopped the motorcycle, the first thing I noticed was that her face looked extremely pale. I didn't think much of it and tried to strike up a conversation with the woman. She then asked if she could ride along with us since she was going up the mountain. Being heavily pregnant, she said it was very difficult for her to climb. She explained that she had already tried flagging down several cars, but no one had stopped to pick her up. I felt a little sorry for her. However, because she was pregnant, I told her it wouldn't be possible. I gently explained that with 2 of us already on the motorcycle, it would be too dangerous, and if anything happened, we couldn't take responsibility. I declined as kindly as I could. Normally, under ordinary circumstances, we might have let an extra passenger squeeze in. But this time was different. She was pregnant. We couldn't take the risk. Still, she kept pleading, saying she couldn't walk any farther.
I'm pregnant, and I can't walk up the hill. Please, give me a ride. Just enough space to sit on. I'll go any way I can.
I refused again, telling her to wait for another vehicle because it really wasn't safe. You should wait for another ride. You really can't go with us. It's too dangerous. As soon as I finished speaking, I twisted the throttle and rode off. Inside, I felt bad and sorry for leaving her there alone by the roadside, but there wasn't much I could do. At first, the ride up the mountain went smoothly. The first curve passed without trouble, but when I turned into the second curve, I suddenly felt a tight grip on my shoulder. My friend, who was sitting behind me, squeezed my shoulder hard. I was startled and a little confused, but didn't think much of it. I figured maybe it was because of the cold. The mountain was known for its year-round chill. By the third curve, my friend squeezed my shoulder again, and by the fourth, his grip grew even stronger. This kept happening at every curve. I started wondering if something was wrong, or if he was just tensing up during the turns, trying not to lose balance. As we went higher, the pressure on my shoulder became so strong it actually hurt. When we finally reached the parking area where our friends were waiting, I flashed the motorcycle headlights and shouted, "We're here! We're here! Come get the stuff!" Our friends started running toward us, but then something strange happened. Everyone suddenly froze. Their faces went pale. And then they stepped back. I stopped the motorcycle, completely puzzled. When I turned to look behind me, I saw my friend sobbing uncontrollably, tears streaming down his face. I didn't understand what was happening and shouted for our friends to help him off the motorcycle. They quickly came over and laid him on the ground. He seemed completely shaken. When he finally caught his breath, the first thing he did was call out my name and ask, trembling,
"Where are you?"
"I'm here. I'm right here," I shouted, standing behind the group. Then he asked again, voice shaking,
"Did you see her? Did you see her?"
I was confused. "You mean that pregnant woman?" "Yeah, we both saw her." "What about her?" I asked, but his account was far beyond what I had seen. As we were going up, we had both seen the pregnant woman standing by the road, waving for us to stop. That much we agreed on. However, what my friend said next shocked everyone. He had seen her again and again, the same woman in a white maternity dress who had tried to hitch a ride, standing and flagging us down at every single curve we passed. There were many sharp, zigzag turns going up the mountain. As I leaned into each turn, the motorcycle naturally moved toward the inside edge of the road, closer and closer to her. Each time, unbeknownst to me, we almost brushed past her. My friend was so terrified that he couldn't even scream. He just shut his eyes and squeezed my shoulder harder each time we hit a curve. And every time we passed, her expression changed, from calm to angry to furious, until at the final curve, she looked completely enraged. We were all in shock. Everyone's face turned pale. We realized that what we had encountered wasn't real. We decided not to ride back that night. Instead, we stayed at the parking lot and tried to calm down until morning. The whole night, I couldn't stop thinking how lucky I was that I hadn't seen her myself. If I had, we might not have made it to the top. As for the woman in white, I never found out who she was, where she came from.